Hi guys, welcome back. This is part 3 of the Atari Adventure remake inside Unity, and yeah, it's quite a long video again, but hopefully it'll be entertaining for you. I've tried to cut the sort of the cruft out of it. Anyway, feel free to like, subscribe, and all that kind of good stuff. And let's get started after the fade. All right, so this is today's video. This is the idea for this. So we're gonna go and do the initial object placement. So we're just gonna do the yellow key just now. I've got a note down here for offline. Sorry, I keep on getting alerts on my phone. Let's put that there. So I'm just going to concentrate on the yellow key for this video, and offline, this is the bit down here, I'm going to finish off the level 1 map so that we don't need to do it. The basics are we're just placing an object, we're picking up that object, and then we're using that object. So that's what we're going to be concentrating on today, is just the sort of basics of it, and then I'll go offline and finish off everything rather than you having to watch the same thing over and over again. Remembering where the objects were dropped. So when you drop an object, you go back to that room, the object's still there, it doesn't transport back to the original location. Unlocking gates with the keys, and unlocking we're just going to do the yellow castle door in this one. And then finally, in this video, change the color of the player to be the same as the room. And so that pretty much finishes off everything that we need to do for the game, I think. I don't think we need to do anything else functionality wise. We might get involved with the magnet, but that's for the later levels and the rules around how the magnet works. But yeah, that's pretty much the whole game. So the next video will concentrate on the AI, which is something I don't think I've ever done a video for, but it'll be like a super simple AI for this game, but something I haven't touched anyway. Alrighty, so that's the adventure walkthrough that was showing the last couple of videos. But let's go to Unity, and then let's start with the room. So the initial placement, just off screen. So here's the screen here, and so you can see the player in this part here. What we're going to do is we're going to drop the keys over here. These are going to be the prefab versions of the keys. So if I go down to objects, you see that we've got a black key and we've got a sword. So I'm going to create another one, which is the exact same one as this, except instead of a black key, it's going to be a yellow key. So I'm going to do create. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to go and grab the art for this, and I'm going to go and grab the yellow key, drag it in there. I'm going to add a box collider 2D. I think it's a trigger. Let me just go back to here. Box collider 2D. It is a trigger. Okay. So I'm going to change that to trigger, and I'm also going to add pickup. And I'm going to change the name of that to yellow key. Right. And then what I want to do, I want to drag that to the prefabs. So I'm going to drag yellow key down to the prefab, and then I'm going to take the yellow key that's in here and I'm going to drag it off screen, because I don't want it, I want it to be part of the scene. I just don't want it to be seen in the scene. So you can see that this is our window to the game, so the object isn't seen. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to alter the JSON script here. So this is the JSON script that I came up with, the JSON file that I came up with last time to describe the rooms. So each one of these is a different shape, and they describe how to go between north, south, east, and west. I'm also going to add an objects array in each of these. So I'm just going to say objects, and it's going to be just a blank array. So I'm going to do that for all of these. Actually, I don't really need to do it for all of these because some of these just won't actually have anything there. But I'm we need to find the one that's going to have the actual key in it. So I've lost my bit of paper in doing this. So I think this ID here, so this is ID 1. I think this one actually has the key. This is the castle. This one here, so it's color 0, and then it doesn't have anything east or north. What is shape 0? Let's see what shape 0 is. Shape 0 is the castle. Okay, so that is the castle there. So north, it should take you to 0. So it's this one here. Oh no, the castle's the one there, sorry. Shape 0, okay, so we need to have an object in here. So we're going to have objects, and then inside here we're going to have another object, and it's going to be name yellow key, position x, oops, it's going to be x, let's say 50, y 50. I don't know what the exact number is in there, but we'll figure it out. So that's going to place these values in here. That's going to place the yellow key in this location at that position. Now that's the initial position. So I need to know if the object has been moved, or if it's the initial position, or if I set that value, or that kind of thing. So if you go into the room and there's a yellow key there, then we need to set the position to be at this location. If this makes sense at all. So right now nothing's going to happen. So when we start the game, we start at the castle. Sorry, it's people wandering above me. So the key should be about here, because that's where it is in the original game. So how do we actually get that position in there? Well, when we go to our game controller script, let's grab this. Fire this up. I'll close this. Yeah, I'll close this for just now. Discard. It's booting up. Okay. So this is our game controller here. So when we awake, we'll grab that. Screen by the text, blah 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 blah. Handle player leaves. So when it starts, it goes to change the room. So we want to render the room here, but we also want to check to see if there's any objects in there. So we want to say, does the room, actually we're jumping ahead a little bit here. Ignore that bit. We need to actually load the object. We need to load the room. So if we go to our, where are we? Room data. So we need to have an collectible item data. So let's call that item data, and it is serializable, and it has public string name, public vector to position. I think I called it position. Oh, I don't think I did. I think I just called it X and Y, didn't I? Oh no, I did. I called it position. That's fine. Okay, that's good. position, X and Y. So if we go back to here, vector 2, and I want to use Unity Engine and get rid of that. Okay, so that is that there. And then for the level data, we have a map room data. So go into here. So now we have to have public that, what do I call it again? Call it objects. Okay. So, was it not looking at that? Oh, okay. I need to make this public, that's why. So now objects should stop complaining. There you go, that's fine. So now we have our objects array. So when we load the game, so game.loader, this will do exactly what it needs to do. You go into there, get collision, get visuals, and then this is the layer data. What else do we need to do? Room data. Layer data. Okay, so that's that value there. Let's go to our level data, and then that gives our map room data. We don't really have anything beyond level data, so maybe we need a couple of helpers in there. So this gives our map room data. Objects. Okay. Well, maybe we don't need to have a helper in there at all. Maybe we can just get away with not doing any helper in there. Okay, so room renderer. So this is where the room gets rendered. We draw things on there. So this is the first time we load it. So we load everything in, and then we draw all the blocks. So at this point, we should check to see where the position of the we should check to see where the position of the objects are. So what I think we should do is we should make this a little bit destructive. So when you load the game, it is one state, and then when you once we've loaded it in, we clear that array. I think that's a good way to go, because then we don't keep going through it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to say, is this a room renderer? Let me just go to here. I think we've got a room renderer here. Okay, so we got a room renderer here. So I want to add those game objects in here somehow. I don't quite know yet. So I'm going to do render room. So this is public render room here. But I also want to render the objects as well. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take out all of this. This is the room loader here. This is loading the actual room though. Let me see where this is getting called from. Okay. So we need the objects in here as well. So we're going to say change room, blah, 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 blah. And then we're going to take the objects that are in here, and then we're going to remove them so that we don't need to have them again. But we still need to know if they're placed in there. Let me think here. Let me think. Okay, we don't want to do that. It's a bad idea. What we want to do is, when you load the level, we're going to go through, we're going to parse out all the objects, we're going to find out where those objects are, and then we're going to place them in the correct rooms. So we're going to say place objects current level. In fact, we don't even need the current level. We can just do place objects there, and then we can say go through all the objects in the current level, place them in the correct rooms. For later, in the renderer, make sure that the object is placed on screen. So when we render a room, we're going to check to see if the object, if whatever objects are in there, if they're going to, if they're going to have if they need to be drawn. If they're not currently carried, then they need to be moved to that location and drawn, because we're basically redrawing the map every time we change rooms. So let's do that just now. So we're going to do current level dot rooms dot for each. Can I not do that? Oh. Okay. Right, well, let's do it the other way then. For each var room in current rooms. We also need to know what the name, we need to map this to something else. So in our in our yellow key here, we've got a pickup script. So let's add a couple of things to the pickup script. So instead of just being pickup, which is what it is just now, we're going to have public vector to position string name. Does it already have a name? I guess it does. Key. Let's call it key name. So let's call that key name, and then we will, once that refreshes, why is it not refreshing? Come on. Why are you not refreshing? Nothing's easy. Why is it? What is going on here? So let's go to here, save that, come back into here, and for reasons unbeknownst to me but known to them, so I'm going to call this yellow key, and this will create a link between the game controller and the objects. So inside the game controller, I can now have public pickup objects, and now I can drag and drop that yellow key onto my game controller. So I can drag and drop that onto objects, and we'll fill this in just a sec. And then the object has got a yellow key, that's right. And okay, so we also need to have current room as well. So we need to have public int current room equals -1. So we're going to call it -1, which means it isn't in a room, but it defaults to -1. And in fact, we want to have hide in inspector, because we don't want that to be visible. In fact, we don't want the position to be visible either. We just want the key name to be visible. So when we go back to our key here, we see that we just have the key name, and that's good. Okay, and now inside our game controller, let's have a private dictionary string pickup object map equals new, blah, blah, blah. And then when we awake, we're going to say for each var pickup in objects, object map pickup dot key name equals pickup. So now all we need to do is this will now link this value here, which is in our data file, with an object in the game world. And this allows us to build up. You can imagine this as being like part of the tools. This is kind of how under the hood, I think they use GUIDs, but under the hood, this is how Unity builds up its scenes. And I'm sure we could have found a clever way to do that, but this is where we are just now. So inside here, I've got to check and see if these values are in here. So say var for each var object in room dot objects. Let's call that O. And then we'll say object map O dot name dot position equals new vector 2 O dot position dot x O dot position dot y object map O dot name, oops, darn it, dot room equals O dot, oh, it's not going to be that, it's going to be the number of the room, so it's going to be var room ID equals 0, room ID. Okay, so every time you go through, it checks to see what the current objects are that are inside the current room. So all the rooms are numbered 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And if it has an object in there, it sets the current position to the current room to be there. And yeah, and that is good. Okay. So when we pick up an object, we need to know, we need to mark it as being -1, but for now we'll just get get it rendered. So let's place them in the correct rooms. Okay. And then the renderer, we need to say for each var KVP in object map. Actually, we don't need to do the KVP. We can actually do, because these are linked, because this array here is linked to this dictionary, we can actually do it really quickly. We can just do for that in objects, because it's the same array, or it's the same objects that are referenced in that array, and we can say if kvp dot, actually it would be obj dot current room equals room index. We want to move it onto the screen. So we want to say obj dot position dot transform dot position equals, and then it's going to be obj dot position. So we're going to transform it to that position on screen. Else, if obj dot current room is greater than or equal to 0, So in other words, if it's not -1, -1 means it's being carried. So if it's not the current room and it's not being carried, we're going to say obj.transform.position equals new vector 3. Let's make it -50, 0. Doesn't matter, it's just 50 that way, 50 units that way to get it off the screen. And that's that. Okay, so when we run this, we should see the yellow key at position 50-50. I don't know where 50-50 is though. Oh, it's going to be 50-50 units, isn't it? So let's not make it 50-50 units. Let's make it 1-1. So that's going to be 1-1, which is going to put it down somewhere here-ish. Actually, let's see where the player is. Let me grab the player and move it to here, which is roughly where the key is, which is -11, 3.6. So let's make that -11, 3.6. So roughly there. Okay, so it should be roughly where I'm circling the cursor there. All right, let's press play on this and see what happens. Well, I got a null reference. So we got a null reference here. So object reference not set to an instance object, blah, 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 blah. Line 68. So if room.objects equals null or room.objects.length equals 0, continue. So we'll just bomb out just in case it happens, because apparently it can. So run this. Boom, there we go. There is the yellow key. And we can just go pick it up because it should be able to pick it up. Should be able to pick it up. I don't know why it's not working. Okay, I don't know why that's not working, but that's where the yellow key should be. So that's good. So we've got object placement now. So if I go to another room down here, the key should go, and I'm going to go back up here. The key should be back again. All good. Okay, so that's good. So we have object placement now. I don't think that's quite exactly where the key should be, but it's okay. So why is the black key can get picked up, but not that key? Let me see why. Object black key. Does have a pickup script, and oh, do you know why? I know why. Because if I drag and drop that onto here, you see that this is tagged as being a pickup. So I need to go to here, and let me just double click it. Why is it not? Edit it. Open prefab asset. There we go. Let me mark that as being a pickup. Okay. All right. So now, if I zoom back out a little bit, so I'm going to move the black key over to here. Oh yeah, I've moved the collision for this a little bit more as well. So let's make that just a little bit bigger. So to there, and to there. Okay. And so we run this, we should be able to pick up the yellow key. Boom, there we go. Okay, so we have object positioning, and that's good, so we're not getting stuck. See, so when we pick it up, we need to move it to -1. So this is all in the player, isn't it? Pickups, pickups, pickups. So pick up there, and then where's the game controller? General helpers, layer, inventory. There we go. So we're going to pick up there, And then we want to say current item dot current room equals -1, and then we need to find out what the current room is. So I don't know how we can do that just now. We do figure out the current room. So what I might do is cheat here. Well, we'll see if this works anyway. So once you pick up the item, we can't drop the item just yet. Once you pick up the item, that should mark it as being in room -1, which is basically held. So we can grab the key. So we now have the key. We can go down here. We still have the key. Go back up to here. We still have the key. Okay. And then we drop the key. Try and drop the key. Dropping the key is a bit tricky. So the problem now is when we go back up to here, it's going to be, oh, it's still there. Yeah, see, that's the problem. Is the key still there because it's still -1, so it thinks that the thing's held. So what I'm going to do is I am going to create an inventory trigger. So I don't think locomotion or anything needs to know that. Actually, let me see. So do we have inventory on the player? So inventory is there. Do I really want to know? Okay, I don't really want to link the two of them together. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create an I'm going to create a delegate. So I'm going to say add class, and then it's going to be, I think I've got the ability to get the player from the game controller. So this is going to be item dropped delegate. And it's going to have public delegate item dropped event handler object sender item dropped event args e, and then I'm going to say public class item dropped event args public pickup get public item dropped event args pickup There's a ironic in computer science. There's an acronym called DRY or DRY, which is don't repeat yourself. And I find that when you're writing event handlers, especially, you tend to repeat yourself a lot. So event, pickup. It's all repeating. So yeah. Oh well. And then we need public event item dropped. So in our where's our game controller again? Game controller. So I think we have a player here. Player bounds the text, transform player. Okay. So I'm going to say inside the awake, I'm going to say player.get component inventory item dropped plus equals O, comma E. Oh, well, this is so messy. So what is this crazy archaic thing? So what I'm saying is I have the player. I know what the player transform is. I know that we have a component called inventory on there, and I know it has an items dropped event. So I'm adding an event handler that just takes in an object and event args and then does something with it. So when we change the room, it marks the current room. So room index equals that. So I can now say inside my event handler here, I can say e.pickup.current_room equals that, equals room index. So when we go back to the game, when you drop an item, it's completely independent of the inventory system. So if I go back to inventory here, so if I go back to the inventory item here, all inventory has to do is it has to say inventory item dropped, invoke this comma new item dropped event args current item. So that's all inventory has to do, and inventory doesn't need to know who's subscribing to that. It just needs to know that something's dropped. Now what we can do is inside the game controller or inside some audio system, we can say, okay, they dropped the item, so you can make a blink plunk type effect. You can make that noise as well, which you might do later on when we're sprucing this game up. But for now, we just want the functionality to work. So if I go grab the key here and drag it down here, and then I'm going to let it go here. Okay, so I let it go here and travel to the next one. It did not work. It's still there. Why did that not work? Let me set a breakpoint on here. So I'll click on attach to Unity and we'll run this. So grab the key. Oh, that did not call. Is that being called? Well, that's a good question. Well, there you go. It is being called. Oh, wait. Well, I got this in the wrong place, though. So if I go to inventory, current item is not equal to that. Okay. Well, that's just weird. Current item is equal to pickup. Oh, that's why. That's why. Okay, continue. Okay, so we did that for this one case, but we didn't need to do it for the other case as well. So that's when you drop an item that you already have. But so that's when you have an item and you pick up another item, it automatically does that there. So we need to also do that for dropping an item. So if you drop an item, you also want to do, maybe stop it. You also want to drop it there as well. So this will work. Okay, minor glitch. I don't like that word. An error has occurred. All right, 14th time's a charm. All right, let's go here. Let me see if I can get this right. Okay, so I've dropped it. Now go to this screen here. It's gone. Go back here. It's up there because I haven't saved the position. I need to save the position. So it's resetting to the position that it already was in. So I just need to remember where that position is. And the way I remember that is up here. I don't remember it inside inventory because inventory doesn't need to know about positioning things. That's to the game controller. So then I need to do e dot pickup dot position equals e dot transform. Oops. Transform dot position. Why is that not working? Oh, e dot pickup dot transform dot position. Okay. So the current position is going to be whatever this position is. All right. Okay. Getting there. It's only been 25 minutes or something. Okay, so we go through here. Oh, well, let's do it here. Okay, so there we go. We dropped it there. Oh, right. Right, dropped it there. So we go through here, and then we go back, and it's still in the same position. Go to here, still in the same position, and then we do the old dropper in, and it's still there. Okay, so that's good. All right, so what have we got then? We've done remember where objects are dropped, placing gates, unlocking gates, the keys, change the color of player, blah blah blah. Okay, so we've done so this is how far we've got in the video. We've done this bit here. So that's good. We've done that first thing. So the next thing we need to do is placing gates. So the gates are going to be exactly the same thing as the objects. The difference is they're not going to be. Are they going to be the same? Can we get away with them being pickups? I don't know if we can. I don't actually know if we can. So, the placement of the gate. Let's go back to here. So we have our environment, the art. So if I drag that to the gate, let's play the game. So there's the gate there. So if I drag the gate to here, which is 0.36, oof, that's a nice round number, and place that about there, which is -3. 3.35. Well, this is good fun. And then this one, yeah, so that's going to be 0.37, 38, 39, 40. Yeah, roughly 4. Okay, so that's going to be 0.4, negative 3.35. Write that down. 0.4, negative 3.35. Okay, so that's where that is going to be. Now, I need to have a trigger on there as well. So I'm going to create a box collider 2D. And I'm going to call it a trigger. And I'm also going to create another tag here called gate. Why is that not? Oh, okay. We'll call that gate. And we'll call this yellow gate. Okay. And we need some kind of script to interact with this. I feel I'm missing something else here. Actually, it can't be yellow gate, it can just be gate. So I need to have create empty, and then I'm going to do copy transform, paste component values, and then I'm going to drag gate into here. And what this means is that gate is going to be at a certain position. So game object is going to be at whatever gate is, and then gate is going to be at that same position. So I can then go grab, so although this object here is at 0, 0, 0, when I go to animate it, which I'm going to do, if I change this to, let me put this in the right values here. If I change that to 0.4, and then this is minus 3.35, when I run the game, so it's at that point there, but I can go grab gate and I can move it up to this point here, which is 4.05. And that is the transform that I'm going to use to move the gate up. But it means that this object here stays at this location here, 0. whatever it is there. So I'm going to add, there can only be one gate. And so I just need to add a gate position, and then it will just add that value there. So I'm going to go to here, and I'm going to have objects, and then underneath here I'm going to have gate, and why is that not liking that? Oh, because I'm part of this, that's why. Gate, and then that object is going to have a position. So but I want it to be null as well. So I'm thinking I want to have it as position, and then this is going to be x is 0.4, y is minus 3.35. Okay, so now I need to create a gate object in here. So I'm going to go into here and create another object. So this is going to be gate data. Visible data public vector to position. And then that to there. That gate data, and then I'm going to go to my. Let's get on here. How did I do that? Oh dear, what did I do? And then we go to room data, yes, no, map data. Where's map room data? Okay, and then we got here, and then we do public gate data gate, and this will get us the number of gates that are in the room. So I'm going to call this gate prefab, and I am gonna have another script. So this is environment, general, pickups. I guess it's environment. So let me call this gate actuator, activator, sure. And I'm going to say public string key. So that's whatever key activates this. And then void on trigger enter 2D. We need to do something there. Check to see who entered. If it's the player, check that they have the right key and that the gate is not already activated, and then activate the gate. And so activate the gate just means it's going to scroll out of view. So gate activator goes on gate prefab. This one here, so this is gate activator. And then I need a public transform gate. Come on. And then we're going to drag gate onto there. And gate prefab can get dragged into the prefabs. So that goes into environment. And we can drag gate prefab into there. Okay, so now we have a gate prefab that we can go yoink. Apparently we can't go yoink. Let's just drag it out to there. Okay. So if there's a gate on the screen, then we drop it in there. If there isn't, then we hide the gate. So very similar to what we did before. So inside game controller, I need to have a public game object gate. So I've got my gate up here, and let me just put that to a slot. So there's our gate. I'm going to go and drag gate prefab into there before we forget it. And when we change the room, get place objects, place gate. So it's going to be the same thing in here. We can do that for later. Get rid of that. Public void place gate. So this is the objects. This has got to happen. Actually, this has got to happen at the render level. So this has got to happen inside here. So if current level dot rooms room index dot gate equals null, gate dot transform dot position equals new vector 2 minus 50 0. So we just punt it out of the road. Else gate dot transform dot position equals current level dot rooms room index dot gate dot position. Okay, and we can shorten this down. We can actually do var gate equals that, and then we can say, oops, can't do that. We can change that to gate dot oops. That'll be gate dot transform dot position, and then this is going to be equals gate dot position. So that will place it on screen if there happens to be a gate at that location. So if that's the case, we should see a gate on the screen. And we do. Let me just put that there. Okay. And then as soon as we touch it and we have the yellow key, we should be able to enter it. Okay. So check to see who's entered. If collision.tag equals player, or let's say if it's not equal to player, return. So if it's not equal to the player, just get out early. Then we're going to do var inventory equals collision dot get component inventory. If inventory equals null, return just in case. Dot equals null, or inventory dot current item. I do not have that exposed. Whoopsies. I need that exposed. Public pickup current item get return current item. Oh, and this is going to complain. Let me change that to use property. There we go. No, let's not do that. Let's just leave it as is. Our inventory dot equals null. If inventory dot current item dot name key name equals key, activate the gate. And then we want to say private bool is activated equals false. If activated, return. So we only want to do this once. And let's say start coroutine activate gate. Enumerator activate gate. And it's going to take a second to do this, so that's good enough. Var time equals 0 while time not equal to is less than 1. And then it's going to be you're larping between the start and the end, so the start is going to be 0 and the end is going to be 4.05. So we're going to say var y equals mathf.lerp, and then the start value is 0, end value is 4.05, and the time is time. And then that's going to be var pause equals new vector 2, whatever the x value is, transform.position.x, which is going to be 0. So we can just change that to 0. And it's going to be y. And so we can now just do transform.position equals new vector blah, time plus equals time.delta time, and then we do yield return null, and then at the very end there we do transform.position equals new vector 2 4.05, just to make sure that we're right on the mark there. And then that activates the gate as soon as you touch it with the yellow key. Gate prefab is that. Oh, we also need to tell it what gate it is in here. So gate is not just position, it is also key as well. So again, this is us tying it to a specific key. So the key, this gate here will only open with a yellow key. So we go to our gate data, string key. So we get that there. And then we need to do that inside the renderer as well. So if we go to, where are we? No, it's inside game controller. So when we get to here, we do the change room, blah, 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 blah. We also need to do gate dot get component gate activator dot key equals gate dot key. And then let's reset this one just to be sure. Gate dot get component gate activator dot key equals that, just to be sure that we don't touch anything that we shouldn't be touching. And that should activate the key. And that's all we need to do for the mechanic of opening a gate. So we go to here. We should touch this. Why not player? Pretty sure I have player, yeah. No, no, that's not working. Gate activator. Let's set a breakpoint here to see if it is actually triggering. So this is on trigger enter 2D. No. Gate prefab, gate activator, yellow key, blah, 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 blah. Okay. What we got here? We've also got pickup. Oh, wait. I think I know why. Because I think we did this on the locomotion. No. Inventory. Yes, it was. It was on locomotion. Well, it was on here. So we want to say if trigger enter 2D that collider. So because this is the one with the rigid body. So we also want to have like a gatekeeper thing. So let's have that on the locomotion. So let's go grab gate activator. Okay, so let's go grab this here. Public void open gate is activated equals true. Start coroutine activate gate. Okay, so that does that there, and then inside our locomotion script we can then have a void on trigger enter 2D. And then we can say if is activated return. So if it's already been activated, we don't need to open it again. So we can get rid of this line here. We can check to see if it's a gate. So if it's not a gate, then we're not interested in it. So we can go and grab the inventory, check to see if the current item's there, and then check to see if the gate is there. So we need to do a var. We need to go grab the gate component. So we do gate equals collision dot get component gate activator. And then we're going to say if that equals gate. Then we want to do gate dot open gate. Why is that not like that? Gate dot gate key. That's why. Gate dot key. Okay. Okay. And run. Go grab the key. Touch this. Oh, that did not work. Do you know why it didn't work? I don't know why it didn't work, because I put the script on the wrong. So in our gate prefab there, we've got this gate activator here, but the trigger's not on here. The trigger's actually on the lower object, and that's why it is doing that. Natch. I think if I move the trigger to yeah. Let's see if this works. Attached to Unity. Okay. Oh, the gate prefab itself is untagged. That's why. That'll work. There you go. So if I stop that there, gate prefab, and then let me edit that. Open prefab asset, and then I change this to gate. Okay. I'm 100% sure, 97% sure that this will actually work. Yeah, see, it was 97% sure. See, if you're not really sure, then just saying 97% should make it work. Excuse me. Okay. Okay, and down here. Yeah, it's not working. I think it's. I think because, well, it's on there. The collision's on there. No, the issue is that it's hitting this box collider here, but this box collider is on the script here, is not on here, and this doesn't have, this one's untagged, and this one is tagged. So what I'm going to do is, I'm going to remove this box collider, remove component, and I'm going to add a box collider to here. 2D to there. It is a trigger. It is not the right size, so I'm going to zoom in, and I'm going to make it the right size. So that will mean that it is slightly bigger on the X. It's fine, and then the Y is roughly about there. Okay, so, oh, we need to change that in the prefab as well. Darn it. Let me do that in the prefab. Open prefab asset. Okay, it did work. Okay. No, it did not work. Let me. Actually, you know what? It doesn't really matter. But let me open prefab assets. Let me get rid of this here. Remove component. Add box collider 2D. And I mean, it doesn't really matter that I have to do this one as well, separate, but it's okay. Now we have two here. No. Yeah, we have two. Which one is which? my guess is this one. Remove component. Okay. Because it's got a little blue thingy on it. Okay. Right. Here we go. This is a long bullet point, this one. All right. So get into here. There we go. Okay. So it's that there. Check to see if it's there. Inventory is there. Gate is there. Inventory current item is the yellow key. Check to see if yellow key is equal to the yellow key. It is. Then we want to open the gate. And it goes right out the top. Not a problem. Let's fix that in just a sec. So again, you can't open a gate when you get to here. But it can't even get beyond the gate. It just doesn't work. But as soon as you get the yellow key, okay. So let me go to the gate actuator. So the gate actuator is private static read only max y float equals 3.5. Yeah, it's probably good enough. We'll put that there. That's there, and then delta time is going to be 2 seconds, just because reasons. So we'll make it 2 seconds, and then that'll be sort of gentler. Okay, so again, we can't get through there. It's good. And then we go this. Yeah, see, gate shouldn't be there. So you get rid of the gate there. So that is the next step. So gate, see, gates appeared here again. So we need to but it shouldn't. Let's have another variable in here. Yeah, we need to figure out how we're going to get that gate to be raised. So we need to remember that the gate's been raised, and the way that we can do that is we can do that with another event, which we'll do in just a sec. Although that then ties the gate to there. Okay, so we need to figure out what gate this is and has it been taken down. So in order to do that, when we activate the gate, this is on the gate here. We need to know, we need to tell somebody. So we can do the same thing on here that we did on the player, because we have access to the player. So if I go to locomotion, so this is the on trigger there. So if I'm doing on gate open there, I can then say, okay, this gate is now being triggered. So I'm going to create another add class gate opened event handler. Public delegate void object sender event args e. Okay, and then we're going to have public gate opened event args. That's a class, isn't it? And args public. Actually, I don't need anything else. I just need that public gate opened event args. It's updating. Okay, don't need any of that. And the reason why is because I know what the gate is. I know that the current room, I know everything it needs to know inside the game controller. So we go to game controller and then jump up to here, and this one here I can do player.getComponent locomotion gate opened O, E, O, E, and gate open doesn't exist yet, so I can go to locomotion and I can do public event gate opened event handler gate opened, and then in here I can say gate opened dot invoke this comma new gate opened event args. And we might want to put something in gate opened event args, or might not, doesn't really matter. Probably doesn't, because we already know what the key is. We already know what the gate is inside here because it's going to be the current room. So now we can say current level dot rooms room index dot gate dot opened equals true, and this will not show the gate. So when we go back to the gate, we will when we go back to the room with the gate, we'll see that it's not closed. We'll see that it's not opened. So we'll go to gate, gate data, and then this is going to be public bool opened, and this is non-serialized. So we don't want to serialize this particular object. We don't want to have that serialized, but we do want to check it. So inside our place objects, no, change room, this one here. So we want to see if the gate is null or gate dot opened. So if the gate's been opened, we don't want to show the gate anymore. So when we go back to the room, the gate's not going to be there. And luckily in this game, the gates are one way, they don't close behind them. Much like Doom and all these other maze type games. So we go to there, open it up. We'll need to fix that there. So now the gate's in here, but it's not here. So we just need to figure out why that's. So when we go into the next room there, why is that appearing? So if I go to attach that there, move into the next room. So room index is 3, 10. So key is null, opened is false, position is 0, 0. So do all the rooms have gates? That doesn't make any sense. I guess they do. Okay, well, we've got to check to see if key is null then. So instead of gate, it's going to be gate.key. So let's check to see if gate.key is null or empty, because it's a string. Dot is null or empty. Okay, that should fix this phantom gate appearing. So clear that, wait for it to compile, and then run it. All right, so we can't open it. We are going to open it. Boom, it opens. No gate. Okay, and we go back to here. There should be no gate either. We should get to here. There needs to be a sword in here as well. So we can get that in there as well. I'll do that when I do the tidy up. But yeah, that's that one done. So the only thing that's left to pick over, actually, let's see what we've got. So we've done this one here, placing gates, unlocking gates with key, unlocking the yellow cascade, remove the collision detection to let the player pass. We haven't done that bit because we haven't done the locked rooms yet. So this is render room. So block each one of these. And so this checks to see if the collision is there. I also need to check the key. So if I open up the tiled one, so I go to here, and then show an Explorer, and then go back up to Atari Adventure, tiled, and then what have we got here? We've got castle. So castle, what? What? Oh, that's just weird. Okay, so here's castle. So we have yellow. So we have not yellow. Yeah, I think we need to change the name of that. So that's not yellow. So let's call that key required instead of not yellow. Key required. Okay. And we will do file, export, castle, save, yep. So key required is there as well, okay. So we need to add that as a separate layer, I think. So get collision, and then say public layer data get key required, return layers dot first d dot name equals key required. So get key required, okay. So now we want to check to see if key required is here. See blocks there, blocks for each of that. So we need collision in there as well, but we need to mark those blocks as being colliders. So we want to say var key required equals room dot get key required is set xy, and then we want to say if key required. So if the key is required, we want to tag this somehow. So I think we could do this by adding another component to these values, or we can just add this block to a list of other blocks. And I think that's what we're going to do here. So I'm going to say private list I want to add this box collider 2D. Key required equals new list box collider 2D. And then I want to say bar collider equals this. Key required dot add collider. So we now have a list of colliders there. So we need to remove all those colliders as well. So luckily all of this is handled inside the blocks, but we do need to clear it in here. So we're going to say key required.clear. So we're going to remove the references to that. In fact, let's do that first before we do anything else. So we want to clear that array, that list first of all. Then we destroy all the blocks and then clear all the blocks. And this one here is just for the key required. So we also want to have a public void key used, and then for each var collider in key required collider, oh, it's just going to be destroy collider, and then key required.clear. So this is going to be our destroy when the key is used, remove the box colliders from the scene. Okay. So even if I try and sneak down here, oh, I can't sneak, there they go. Oh, that shouldn't have happened. Well, there's two bugs there. Oh, no, I'm getting invalid. Oh, hang on a sec. Room data 22. 22. Layers first D, name, key required. Oh. Oh, right, okay. Room renderer 44, okay. So it's not. Sequence contains no matching element. Better check your facts there. Oh, wait, okay. Hang a sec. Maybe not. Maybe I should check my facts. Layer data. Is set name. Let me go to the load. Room loader. Okay. Let me check to see if the room is actually loading that data, because it might not be. It might be right. I might be wrong. Okay. So we do F10. So room data has all these layers. It has 3 layers. There's visual, key dash required. Close. And then the other one should be collision. And it is. Okay. So if we go to a room renderer, so press F10, key required is false. So room, key required, okay. We should probably cache this. To be honest, we should cache this. Okay. Okay, so there's no error there, but it is letting me go through here, which is not good. But when I go through here, it's going to crash out because it doesn't find the sequence matching element. But it shouldn't. Oh, because I'm automatically doing the get is set. Okay. Okay, let me do var collision blocks equals room dot get collision var visual blocks equals room dot get visual var key required key blocks room dot get key required. Okay, so I'm now going to change this to key required to be key blocks not equal to null and key blocks dot is set. So if we don't have any key blocks in there, so all the corridors don't have key blocks, it's just the castles that have key blocks. And then this one here, rather than room dot collision, we can do collision blocks. And this is better as well because we're not constantly going there and we're not constantly using link inside this tight loop. And we're also not doing it inside a loop as well. Because it's pretty bad to keep constantly doing these things. I mean, it might cache it internally when it compiles it because it's like, oh yeah, you're actually using this in here, so it might drop it out here, but you don't know. You just, unless you go into the IL, you're not going to ever know what .NET's doing. Okay, so we move down here. No, it still doesn't like it. Why does it not like it? We've got a breakpoint here as well. Okay, so it's going to like this one. One there. Okay. I go down to here. 11. Okay. So we know it's going to have a collision, we know it's going to have a visual, but we don't know if it's going to have a key required. So if layers.has first or default. There we go. That'll fix that. I mean, you should probably do that as well, just in case. Because we never know. Things might happen. We may not get those values. Not that we're checking the other end. We're only checking for null on the key elements. So we'll go down here. Alright, there we go. That's that fixed. And then this one, still not putting it in there. So I'm going to add inside the room renderer. Just going to add one more breakpoint. And I'm going to check to see if this is required. So key required is going to be true if the key blocks is set for there. And set, I think, is just not null. Yeah, not 0. Okay. So run again. Well, it's not going in there. So is key blocks. I'm wondering if key blocks has anything in it. I mean, it should have something in it. So key blocks is there. It doesn't look like it's got anything in it. Darn it. Oh no, there's 444. There's 4s. Yeah, that's the color there. So 4444. Okay. So if block key blocks is set key blocks. Okay. Can I add a conditional to this? Conditions key blocks is set x, y. Okay, so if it's set to be x and y, if x and y is set, it's going to break here. Well, there you go. Key required. Key required is true. Oh, that's why. Right. Okay. So if collision or key required. So if the key is required, then we're going to add it to there. And if key is required, we want to add it to that list. So this will then stop you from moving through to the next one until you have the key. But you still have to figure out how to get the key from you. But so we get this one here. So we can't get through there. Okay, we're stuck. We can't get through, which is good because we don't want the player to get through there. So to clear this, we have access to the room renderer, which is actually through the game controller. And we already have an event handler that we use to set the current game. So all we need to do now is, where's the renderer? We can say renderer dot key used. And so when you open the gate, the key gets used and we remove all the blocks. And that opens the gate. See how all this stuff just kind of gels? You get the tiled map, you're bringing in that data. We've got our little JSON map function there that tells you what the room shape is, how the rooms get connected. So again, you can't go down here. I'm stuck. Oh, that's not good. Well, there's a soft lock bug. Let me go around the other side there. It's because it's a little bit tight in here. So you can't go down there. So I'm going to go grab the key. I'm going to go grab it, and then I'm going to be able to go through it. Okay, we need to we need to get rid of the, see it's getting stuck on the gate there. We need to get rid of the gate as soon as we move it out the road. So that's okay, we can do that. So that's inside gate actuator, activator. So at the very end there, we can say position equals new vector 2 minus 50, 0. In other words, just get it out. Just remove it from view. Just teleport it to another place. Okay, so grab the key. That one there. So I think I'm getting stuck on here. I know why, because I've used the key. So I need to know that the key has been used. So when I do gate open, I need to render the room. So inside the render room, so change room, render room, blah, 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 color, and then I need to pass in whether the gate has been opened or not. So current room, gate. Okay, so we'll go to here, room color equals that. I'm going to pass in, instead of color, as that one there, I'm going to pass in here, and go gate opened. So the gate is now, we're going to check to see if the gate's opened. So and not gate opened, and that. So we're going to check to see if, let me just move this into separate lines just to make it a little bit easier to see. So the key required is only going to be triggered, is only going to be set if the key blocks is not null. So that's the kind of gatekeeper check to see if we actually have, we're in a castle room, and if the gate isn't opened and the key block is set. So if it's opened, we're not going to show it. Okay. Or we're not going to add those collision blocks, which means when you've opened the gate, it stays open for the remainder of the game. Yeah, right. So we've opened the gate, we can move through, and we should be able to go right through here. Yeah, there we go. Okay. And now we're through. Okay, so no breakages there. All right. Cool. Okay. He's still getting stuck on walls, and I think the reason why he's getting stuck on walls is because he's a box collider 2D. So if we change that to a circle collider 2D, he should be less stuck on walls. It'll make it a little bit well, he's a little bit rounder for a start, so he will be able to kind of clip the edges of things, but it might make him move a little bit smoother around the, yeah, so it's less, yeah, we need to turn the collision off on the gate as well, because as it's going through there, it's just kind of sticking just a little bit, so we'll need to sort that out. That's a little bit better as far as movement's concerned. He's not sticking as much, although that just happened there. That's another soft lock. Okay. He's still sticking. Yeah, this needs to go over just a smidge. Or actually, I can just bring in, I can make the box collider just a little bit smaller. So let's make it 0.9, 0.9. Okay, so the box collider for him is just a little bit smaller. That should let us sneak through here. Yeah, there we go. Okay, just a little bit smaller. All right, that's a little bit better. I can get out. All right, cool. Okay, that's good. So I can get rid of that circle collider. Okay. So what do you need to do? Okay, removing the collisions, the player object pass, change the color of the player to the same as the room. Okay. So when the player enters the room, we want to change the color on the player. So this goes back to our where are we? Our game controller. So when we change the room, we're gonna go. Actually, let me get that color there. We're gonna say this is in the renderer, isn't it? I think I put it in the renderer, which is room colors. Yeah. Okay, so those are the colors there. All right, that's not a problem. Change player color. Color. And then I'm going to say private void change player color. Color index. Var color equals get component renderer colors. Is it renderer? What did I call it? Room renderer. That's the one. Dot colors. Color index. Var sprite equals player dot get component sprite renderer color equals color. And that will change the sprite color, I think. Maybe, who knows? There you go, he's yellow, he's green, he's yellow again. Let's see if we can get him into that kind of mauve olive color, and then back to yellow. There you go. That was super simple, super easy, just to change the player color. And I think we're done there. I'm gonna go ahead and do the rest of these rooms. But I think we've done everything here. So just to recap, initial object placement, placing the yellow key, remembering where the objects were dropped, we did that. Placing of gates, unlocking the gates with keys, unlocking the yellow castle door, removing the collision objects to let the player pass. We still need to turn off collision for gate. Change the color of the player to the same as the room. Actually, let's do that just now. So in our gate actuator, activator, whatever it's called, so the collision detection's on here. So all I need to do is get component box collider 2D dot enabled equals false. And so that will turn off the box collider. So as soon as we unlock it, we can just drag the player, walk the player straight through. So go to grab the key, grab here, and then we're straight through. So we need to stop that bug for a start. But other than that, that means that we don't get dragged through. So when the player is moving, so when this gate is moving, oh, this is not the transform position, this is gate.transform.position. 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 So it's not the position of the actual object, it's the position of the child object. It's this position here, which is at 0, 0, 0, relative to the parent. So wherever we put the parent, it's going to be there. So even if it activates it, then it's going to be set down to there. So the other thing as well is we want to reset the gate, because when we place the gate someplace else, then we want to reset its position. So let's do public void reset, and then inside reset we want to do gate.transform.position equals vector 3.0 is activated equals false, and that is it. That is all we need to do. Oh yeah, we need to do the need to set that to be true as well. And then inside the game controller, we want to activate it. So if the gate's open, we move it out to there. Otherwise, what we do is we do gate.reset. Get component gate activator reset. Okay. Actually, let's do that as position gate.key, and then take this out, and then we'll do that as vector 2 to position string key name, and then we can have instead of gate.transform.position, it would be transform equals position, and then this is going to be key equals key name. So it's just kind of neater, neat-ish when we reset that. So when we move to another room that's got a gate in it, and we haven't got the key for it, then, or we haven't used the key for it, and we draw in the right place. 0, 0, 0. Why is that going to there? Where's reset? I think I've broken something there. Get transformed up position equals that. Local position. Should that be local position down here as well? Is that part of the problem? No, that's not right. Gate.transform.position, that's going to be transform.position equals that. Okay. Because we want to move the entire thing there. We want to, so in this one here, we want to move just a gate. And in this one here, we want to move the entire object. Okay. All right, there we go. Grab the key. There we go. Moving slowly up there. Yeah. Well, that's that fixed as well. That's good. So again, can't get through here. So let's go grab the key. Grab the key. Make a break for it. Nice. Okay. Well, that was a bit of a long video. If you liked the video, thumbs up. If you didn't like the video, thumbs down. The next video will just be the AI, the dragons, and that'll finish us off for adventure. So just one more video to go. I hope you've been enjoying the series so far anyway. I hope there's some interesting things in there, even if you're not particularly know anything about Atari's adventure. It's a fun game. Anyway, thank you again for watching, and I'll catch you in the next video. Don't forget to subscribe, hit the notification bell, and do all that crazy stuff that YouTube makes you go through, and I will see you later. Bye-bye.